Hey, 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 ladies, gentlemen, and transgenders. Welcome back to the Slotcast, the Heroes of the Storm podcast that tells you all the things that you need to know. I am your friendly neighborhood Latino, Narsha, and just this week I learned why skeletons doesn't go trick-or-treating. Because they have no body to go with. This week, we are back once again with a new episode for you all, where we'll go over some of the most important subjects from Heroes over the last weeks. And there are so many cool things to talk about. But I can't do that alone. Oh, no. With me today are an absolute hero, both inside and outside of the game. He is the most active and popular caster in the Heroes Lounge, plays in Division 2 himself, is a solo player, and there is little happening in Heroes that he doesn't pay attention to. Welcome back to the show, Beas.
Thank you very much, Narsha. Pleasure to be here as always.
Definitely good to have you here. A new Heroes Lounge season started not that long ago, just a couple of weeks. How has the start to the season been for you as a caster?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. A lot of good matches going on. Got to see a few matches from across the different divisions. Already managed to rack up a good few casts. Although I have to say, Heartless is particularly on a tear this season, doing extremely well, producing a lot of content. So shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely. Heartless, our main caster, our director, I was about to say. He does a great job and has casted a lot this season too. So maybe we'll see him on here someday. But next up is the man who makes it hard for me to come up with new ways of saying he comes from a cold place far, far away. But let's just say he got homesickness from watching the Battle of Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. Or is that an too old of a reference? Yeah. Anyways, welcome back to the show, Ravatar.
Thanks. I get the reference, but I don't know why.
It's the closest thing I can just think about that it's really cold and cold mostly.
What do you have in your coffee?
It's mostly coffee, I have to admit, but for everyone's information, I am very, very hungover today. But we'll try to power through that. Are you doing good these days, Ravatar?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Nice to hear. You won any games in the Nexus lately?
Let's change the subject. Rosmex, you're up. Just...
Indeed, because our last guest this week is the guy that are very, very busy with other things these days, as he is playing for Team Czech in the Nexus Games, Blizzard's European Championship for Nations that are going on these days. But he has taken the time to come on the show. So welcome to Rosmex.
Thanks for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Very good to have you back again. And of course, we need to talk a little bit about the Nexus Games things. Like, tell me a little bit about how it is from the inside.
It's like kind of stressful to play on the official team from Blizzard, because a lot of people is switching, and like you want to do the best for your country, and we didn't show up really good. So it's kind of stressful going into the last game today against Netherlands, where we need to win 2-0 if we want to have chances for the playoffs. But we are gonna play our best today, because it's our maybe last match, or we are gonna play more matches today if tiebreaker is gonna happen.
Okay, so that game is gonna happen tonight between you, the Czech, and the Netherlands.
It's second game today. It's gonna be around 6 p.m. I think.
Cool. I'm expecting everyone that's in the chat now to show up and cheer you on in that very important game. We see Toxic Rosmex being shouted out in chat there already, so seems like you get some fans. Sorry. So this week. We'll cover some of the many things worth discussing in Heroes lately, starting with everyone's favorite Red Dragon, Alexstrasza. We'll also touch upon the most dramatic rework this game has ever seen as Lily gets a tune-up, and then we will spend the time we have left to discuss happenings outside of the game. But let's just jump into it. And BlizzCon, Alexstrasza was announced together with Hanzo, and Alexstrasza has been out on the PTR for a little while and was just released in the game not that long ago. But we need to talk about her, not only because it's a new hero, but she has some very unique functionality, let's just say. So who wants to start? Not everyone at once.
Okay, I can start. First of all, I think Alexstrasza is tier 1 hero. She is really, really good. And I'm messing up my camera. Just a moment. Okay, better. So, the thing about her, it took me a while to realize kind of how to play her, and I think most people haven't, thus the low win rates. And don't draw and quarter me for this, but I think she has 2 legit builds, and nobody agrees with me save Mango. But the Q build is not the worst thing ever. The E build is still better in my opinion, but the Q build is not horrible.
Yeah, because I've seen some discussion around that between Q build versus E build for Alexstrasza. Beas, have you looked anything into that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a support player, so I haven't played her yet outside of testing out her abilities in try mode. It definitely looks, from what I have seen of her being played, though, like the E build seems to be the way to go. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really interested in why Rava thinks that the Q build can be viable. It feels like it's
I'll have
really
an explanation for that. It takes a while.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we've got time.
We do get some time, and as usual, we tend to expect our viewers to know many things from before. We're not going to go through her abilities and stuff in detail, as she's already live, and everyone that listens to this have probably seen her around. But her Q build is her Q ability is a heal, and it takes she sacrifices her own health to heal someone. And the E is an offensive spell. She can pretty much spam it. It's on a very low cooldown, and it does some damage and slows and stuff. So is it one offensive build and one defensive, or?
I think Alexstrasza has 2 places where you can play her. You can play her in a Supreme Divish comp, or you can play her in a comp where there's enemy team has no way to get you, and you're Supreme Sustained Healer in that case. And the reason what I said about Q build is there's a certain mind games of drafting Alexstrasza early, because answering her is kind of difficult, because if you draft stuff like Junkrat or Chromie that is expected to be good against Alexstrasza because of the backline harass, you can instead actually draft really good dive comp, which is something that I think Alexstrasza supports best because of her Cleansing Flame. Because the Cleansing Flame works best if you have a comp that versus clumping up, so you get value from both the heal and the damaging parts of the ability. I had tons of fun playing him with Secret Streets leaking Schoolhouse game, but
Yeah, I can't leak
I
those
know,
secrets.
this was just one night memeing Team League, but we played a lot Judgment Tyrael and Genji going in, and Alexstrasza uses the Cleansing Flame, and after it's over everyone still has full health despite full team fight happening, because the Cleansing Flame has just hit 9 targets 5 times. Because stuff like that supposes clumping up.
Rosmax, Ravatar said here in the beginning that he thinks Alexstrasza is a tier 1 hero. Would you agree with that?
I think for Hero League she is tier 1 hero because of only her trait. I had game yesterday where we always go to first frag, and then Alexstrasza popped her trait, and then they just like kited us, and we couldn't kill anything because she had insane heals and insane damage with her trait. So I think just because of it, in Hero League she is pretty good because she can like control the fights a lot. It's like moving Ragnar's Molten Core, I think. And I think even her W build isn't that bad, but I didn't saw it too much. I saw it once against me, and we had like we had mosh pit, and when we every time we pushed anyone, she did put the W on the ground, and after mosh disappeared, the targets who didn't die just got insta healed to full health, and like that was so hard to kill anyone if we didn't get like frack in like 2 seconds before the W popped.
Yeah, because that W heal, I have to admit what I really like about it is how visual it is. So people in like solo queue can actually, that's the thing that I should stand in. Because it seems like Flame Strike isn't visual enough because I see people standing in that all the time. But you also mentioned her trait. Like, you kind of have to mention that her trait is turn into a dragon. Her dragon form, which is, as you explained, it kind of like Ragnar's Molten Core, only you can do it wherever you want. Is it too powerful, or is it balanced just fine?
It is balanced, but I still see a lot of people still misplaying it because the thing about Alexstrasza is she doesn't have like Arthas has frozen tempers and roots to force people to not disengage. Alexstrasza really doesn't have one. So, in my opinion, how you should use her trait is always in conjunction with the Cleansing Flame post level 10, because you can use the dragon before the Cleansing Flame, and this is actually something people don't know, but if you use Cleansing Flame while you're a dragon, it doesn't have a cast time. So you'll immediately go in there. And after that, you can position yourself as a dragon behind the enemy team, or flank the enemy team as a dragon. But if you use pre-team fight in front of the enemy team, you will often see just enemy team disengaging and waiting for the dragon to go off.
A quick question about using that heroic in dragon form. Does it, when you're up in the air and throwing the flame thingies down on the ground, does still like the dragon trait cooldown? Does it stop while you're in the air?
Yeah, it does. The duration doesn't go on while you're in the air.
Oh, that's actually pretty hot. Because really quick, her in her dragon form, she has an improved Q and improved E, like her now improved W, like her heals, and then her E turns into the wingy flame pushy thing.
Wing Buffet.
Wing Buffet, which I think is something from Blackwing Lair. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days, Blackwing Lair. But she has, and that can be very powerful. How she can just push everyone around with that Wing Buffet ability, and I guess it makes sense. You use the dragon, you go up in the air, you throw out all the flames, and then you position behind the enemy team as you come down, and then just wing them into a mosh pit or something. But Beas, she does have two ultimates. Cleansing Flame has already been mentioned. How she takes to the sky and drop fireballs that damage enemies and heals your allies. But she also has Life Binder heroic, where she swaps the life force with another hero. So the hero with the lowest percentage health gets the same as amount of health that the one with the most health has. Is it viable, or is it only flame cleansing flame?
Well, it's interesting. You see, because Lifebinder was actually something that I was fascinated in when I saw the hero being announced and the abilities being announced. It's really powerful, and if you can actually make use of it, it's amazing. You choose another ally, and after 2 seconds, whichever of you has the higher health percentage, both heroes get set to that percentage. So you can use it immediately as somebody is being burst down. And if you are not being also damaged, the person that's being burst down after 2 seconds, they're just going to be reset to full health. And it's a unique attribute. It's a unique ability for a hero to have. We've not really seen anything quite like this before. That being said, I think I've only seen it once or twice being actually played in games. It can, I have seen it get a lot of value used well and on the right targets, but I think it's quite counterable by playing around it, either by bursting, if you can, bursting one or other side of the link down, whether that's Alexstrasza or the ally she's marked, or just ignoring them both and switching to a different target can potentially play around the ability quite well. So I have to say, I think in higher level play, it's probably not going to end up seeing a lot of value.
Talking about higher level play, Rosmex, Alexstrasza isn't allowed in the Nexus games, unfortunately. But do you have an idea of which heroic you want your support to go with?
I think Cleansing Flame is to go to in competitive.
But do you agree with Bayes that it can have a place, the other one, but
maybe
just probably not?
Maybe Cho'Gall, or like the Rehgar that has Ancestral. If you like are both on low HP and Rehgar Ancestral's the other, then you like get full heal on both targets. But I don't think it's gonna be picked that much. Maybe like once per 100 games. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how she develops in the Nexus, but I think we can probably say that this isn't fixing the double support meta anytime soon.
No, really not. I mean, Alex is definitely, I feel, strongest in double support compositions. So far, it's primarily how I've been running her. And yeah, I think her utility and her damage all add up to really incline you to play additional supports along with her, or an additional support along with her.
Do you share that sentiment, Ravitar?
Only slightly, because the way I love playing Alexstrasza most is in the Supreme Dive comp, and in that comp you don't actually, quote unquote, you don't need actually a support, because you will always start every fight with full health, because you have to start every fight at full health, and you will be all fighting the first up in the air and then in the dragon form. And that was something, if you watch BlizzCon, you saw a lot of teams play solo support Iron Fist Kharazim, and the reason it worked, it was played in a comp where you didn't actually care about sustained healing. And I think you can play Alexstrasza as solo support for a similar reason, because if you have a heavy amount of dive, short fights, you actually get, and you're actually invulnerable through the fight, you don't actually need that much a second support.
I just want to mention, if you are in the chat and have any opinions on this, feel free to throw them out. I see there's already discussion going on, and we enjoy that. I'm really not sure. Not sure if she's been out for a long enough time yet for me to really make up my mind on her. But I do like dragons. I do like WoW. It's cool that she's in the game. It's going to be fun to see how she develops. She does have an interesting kit, and I also think that she's kind of based around the support hero thing, and now a double supporting, it's going to work pretty fine. But I do like the sentiment from Ravitar that if you just go smart enough and kill all the enemies, then you don't need a healer because they are dead.
By the way, on the subject of heroics, one thing I'll say, while I think Cleansing Flame is better, I'll probably be more happy in heroic games to see a Lifebinder, because a lot of people are actually misplaying the Cleansing Flame really, really hard. Okay. Because what people forget is that the healing numbers are double from what it deals damage. So you don't exactly want to use it to chase lone backliners and throw fireballs at them. And it's mainly not only a massive heal, but it's also a repositioning tool. And in order to get really good value out of the repositioning, you have to use your dragon form properly to have it up.
Okay, but regarding that, I saw a clip from a Dragonshire video when they capped the bottom shrine, and then she used her heroic to just go to the top shrine and cap that so they could get the dragon. It's immediately like, okay, that's interesting. It's used like a global, but is it like too powerful to be used just like a global?
If it wins you the game, sure, but it's a powerful team fight heroic. I don't think you should use it. Actually, you can use it as a global if you are side soaking as Alexstrasza, and then you join the fight with Cleansing Flame. But just for global purposes, I wouldn't use it to travel between shrines unless it wins you the game.
Yeah, and winning the game is what it's all about, after all. Celestina in the chat there says you now must explore her KFH, but that's probably regarding Lily. Yeah. Ever since we said that we're going to talk about Lily, Celestina in the chat here has been going crazy with the walls of text about her favorite little panda. So I say we just move on to the Lily rework. So guys, Lily has been reworked. Lily has been in the game for a very, very, very long time. She has always been a nuisance, but she's never been very good. She's been very easy to play, very easy to pick up and get some type of value with. But yeah, she hasn't exactly been a meta. Now she's got a rework. She's been tuned up. Her kit is pretty much the same, but her trait has been changed, so it's now way more interesting. And before we go into her details, is she now meta Rosmex?
I don't think so, but I think she's harder to play. She's maybe a little bit better, but I don't think that she's gonna be meta. Like the trade is, I think, a worse version than she had that thing on level 20 talent before, and her ability's got a cooldown increase because of the trade. My first thought on her W build was like she can be a flamer and split pusher, but that got nerfed hard, and you can really late with it, and I think she's not that great again.
We see Celestina here disagreeing that Lily has ever been out of the meta, but that's a specific opinion, I'm pretty sure. We have to mention this trait, as Rosmex touched upon, that her Kung Fu Hustle is now baked into her trait, so she get a cooldown reduction whenever she is damaged, in addition to the extra speed. And immediately I feel sad because I like to go e-build on Lily. Like if I just want to like fuck around in the Nexus, I just pick Lily, go into quick match and do e-build and run around. That's not a thing anymore, I'm pretty sure.
No, e-build is really quite rip, unfortunately. A lot of the crucial talents for it either got nerfed or removed or moved. There's no Mass Vortex on 4 anymore. Mass Vortex is now on 13. It's worse than the version that was on level 4. And it's now contesting with Surging Winds, which was another completely critical talent for that particular build on the old version of Lily. So I definitely think e-build isn't really a thing. There may be, or sorry, Blinding Wind build isn't really a thing. There may be some value in taking some more Cloud Serpent talents, as those have been scattered around a little bit more liberally, but yeah, there's definitely not going to be a focused build that's exclusively buffing the E talent.
So what is she now? She is no longer that type of semi-ranged bruiser that she usually was?
She's still a bruiser, all right.
Oh yeah?
But Blizzard has some kind of a strange project of trying to make pandas go extinct, patch by patch.
Rip Chen.
Rip Chen, Phil Spadman. Yeah, she's still a bruiser. I think she's slightly more annoying to even kill. I've seen multiple times Garrosh throwing Lily into my team and walking out happy with full health because a sprint, haha, and just a trait. I think Lily rework was a massive letdown because I was so excited to see Kung Fu Hustle baked into base kit, and now you can actually reduce your cooldowns by 50% if you play it properly, and then I see Blizzard just making her cooldowns 50% longer, and then sensed a small debate baked into this.
It is exciting to note that her rework of Cleanse, her new iteration of Cleanse Let's Go on level 7, does synergize with the fast feet. It's a 40-second cleanse. It actually has a heal baked into the cleanse as well. And the fast feet will reduce that cooldown from 40 seconds. So it's one of the lowest cooldown cleanse effects, certainly on point and click that you can pick up. But obviously, the problem with that is it's very short range. It's quite a bit shorter range, I think, than your average cleanse. And that makes it a little bit difficult positioning-wise to actually get value from it.
Yeah, because my immediate thought when I saw the Lily reworks was like, this is hype, this is going to be super fun to run around and play Lily. But I have, to a certain degree, been disappointed with the rework. But the cleanse is... that hasn't actually disappointed. That's still really interesting. As Beas mentioned, it's a really cool short cooldown, and it is shortened even more by her traits. But how important is that range? Of course, it's better to have more range, but as we talked about, she is a kind of a bruiser anyway, so she will probably be up in the face of the enemies and then close to her allies that needs cleanse, or...
When I played her, I got annoyed by one thing. I was playing against Dehaka. So whenever I was too slow and couldn't get good, and Dehaka just burrowed next to my teammate, who was right next to me on melee range, and dragged. The drag yank is longer than the cleanse range.
Oh.
So and if Dehaka had Brush Stalker, I actually couldn't cleanse the drag anymore because Dehaka could just outrun my cleanse range while dragging the target. So there are situations where it is quite
noticeable.
Yeah, quite.
The other thing that needs to be mentioned concerning Lily is her her jugs, the jugs of 10,000 cups, the heroic that is now also affected by fast feet, her trait. But you can also do something semi-interesting with channeling it for a longer time and such. What's up with that, Rosmex?
I think they changed it it's a 20 seconds cooldown, and it increases every time you heal someone up to 70 seconds. And I think it's like a great change if you misuse it, because you can instantly cancel it and get 20-second cooldown. And if you have communication with your team, you can just disengage and wait these 20 seconds and engage after you have it again. I think it's buffed, and I think it's gonna be big every time because interrupts on it are weaker, because you can just disengage when you don't have it, and then you have it in the 20-30 seconds. So that's a great change, I think, to it.
Yeah, it's actually capped at 50 seconds, the cooldown. It starts at 20 seconds, and I believe it goes up to a maximum of 50 if you channel it for the full time. So it's got a significant reduction on the cooldown overall from its previous version as well.
Yeah, we'll see how she develops. There was a comment about Lily now feeling. Let me see here. I'm sorry about that. I suddenly turned into Jake. That Lily has much less mana problems now in the early game. Yeah, it was Peachshine that said the only thing I like about new Lily is that she doesn't feel that mana hungry anymore in the early game. That's something that makes sense.
She should never be out of mana if you pick early adventure, eager adventure.
Yeah,
whichever it was.
is that her globe talent
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Yeah, no, it's whenever you have the fast feet up, you have a 150% mana regen. So
Okay.
if you can balance out taking small amounts of damage all the time, you should have the trade up all the time, and then you have mana up all the time.
Yeah, because the Conjurer's Pursuit, the globe talent was actually removed, I think.
The greatest buff to Lily was that now people don't get debated and pick that piece of shit of a talent anymore. I'm surprised not to see a rise in win rates just because of that.
Yeah, we'll see how things go with her. But I do really like that Blizzard has reworked her. I really enjoy it. I do also like the fact that they try to do more personalized reworks now, that she gets a cleanse, but it's different from all the other cleanses. I really like that, and I hope they continue doing that in going forth. Super quick round. Which hero is the one you want to get reworked next? Beas, go.
Jimmy!
Ravatar, go.
Rexa.
And Rosmex?
Terrell.
Okay, that's
You know, if they do rework Tyrael, it's Rip Holy Ground.
oh, they can't remove Holy Ground.
And then they make it baseline.
Make it best.
Yeah, make it a quest. You need to gather 80 health globes, and then you get access to
I just kind of agree on the Tyrael rework because I want to see a quest, like, make even in feed a quest. Like, die 10 times. And then this then this does something. I can imagine the approach value.
I wonder why you're not the game designer.
Imagine the Hero League games, though, man. Like, no, I have to get my quest. I'm inting to towers.
Yeah, that kind of happens with me all the time when I play Nasibo. I really love playing Nasibo these days. And I tend to, in front of the shrines, I just double soak and get stacks while the other guys fight over the shrine, and they go, oh, Nasibo, you need to come. No, I'm getting my stacks. That's the same thing with new Tyrael. He just like, stop feeding. I'm getting my stacks. I will come online in the late game, I promise.
I just want to see a tooltip where the objective is exclamation mark feed. Die 5 times, even in feed are rewarded.
Please no.
I just want.
If you're listening, please no.
I wanted to really quickly ask about the new talent on level 20, because level 20 feels like a bit underwhelming. Storm Shield is removed. Kung Fu Hustle in its original form was removed. She got a new active talent. She can activate it to heal nearby allies on a 30-second cooldown, which is affected by the Cloud Serpent attacks, the cooldown.
And your basic attacks as well.
Yeah, the trait that those stacks kind of.
Go for heroic upgrade. I have nothing else to say, I guess, about that one.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I was about to say what I usually take, but I've always gone Kung Fu Hustle. So yeah.
It's called Jug of a Million Cups. Like, who doesn't want that? Even better.
Who doesn't want a million cups? Rosmex, any last thought about Lily? Do you expect her to be played in competitive?
Maybe in open division sometimes, because half a year ago when there was the first phase of AGC Open Division, the Polish team Polska Pamięta played a lot of Lily in the playoffs when she got buffed and her e-build got buffed. So maybe they will try to bust her again, but I don't know. I don't think so. She's going to be played in AGC.
Yeah, she's at least not going to be like dominant in the meta. Yeah, probably not at least. But yeah, I'm hoping that someone picks her up once in a while. It's always fun to see some of the lesser played heroes get some attention. And now with the rework, hopefully she can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? It was a lot of changes. It's always possible that somebody's going to find something that has been missed or hasn't been spotted that gives her enough power level to make her viable.
Okay, we have spent a bit over half of the show now on this couple of topics. I would like us to talk about some of the things that happens outside of the game. that isn't implemented yet, but we know are coming because we haven't talked too much about what happened at BlizzCon. We touched upon it somewhat, but there are too much things to talk about, so we can't actually cover it all. But a couple of those things that came out from BlizzCon that are gonna come into the game in not a long time are personalized MMR changes and voice chat. And those things are gonna affect us probably. So let's just go over that a little bit. The personal MMR thingy. Bess, what's going on there?
Well, so it's quite exciting, really. They're changing the MMR system such that rather than your MMR being adjusted after a game for depending on whether you won or lost, and that being really the only factor, we're now going to be moving to a system where, at least in theory, individual performance within the game is what's going to determine how your MMR changes. Now, whilst that on paper sounds absolutely amazing, and anybody who's ever been in a losing game with top damage, 0 deaths, and having done their job and the team just not being able to make it happen, will probably wholeheartedly agree that sounds like a fantastic idea. What I think is probably the big concern on everybody's minds is that is going to be determined, your performance is going to be determined by Blizzard's algorithm. And how accurate can we really expect that to assess people's performance? But that's the big question. So I guess we're going to need to wait and see.
There is a possibility of what if the performance-based actually looks a lot of your stats and everyone suddenly becomes an Abathur one trick. Just nobody plays Leoric anymore.
I just posted in chat really quick a link to a tweet that I sent out on October 29th. It was a couple of weeks before BlizzCon. Yeah, it was just because I know that it's been talked about a lot. It's from a Hero League game where we can just look at it super quick. My team died 32 times. I died 3 times, where the others had like 7, 8. Top siege, top hero, top everything that's important, but I still lose, and there's nothing I can do about it, kind of. Like, some games are just uncarryable. And I write that the individual Hero League adjustment cannot come fast enough, and then just a couple of weeks later, they announce it. Ravatar, is this something that you're looking forward to?
Being a player who hates Hero League to begin with, it might be a thing that make me start playing it if it's implemented well, because I just tried again last night and I remembered why I don't play Hero League that much. Even though I won most, like 6 out of 7 games, I still felt bad after every game. Because I didn't feel like I played well, but enemy team having no tanks or supports or having guys with 0 and 12 stats kind of remind me that it's not always the individual performance of yourself that gains you the ranks or loses them optionally. So yeah,
I do share your sentiment about Hero League in general. Just really quick, we're planning to do a Hero League episode at one point, but just to touch upon it quick, I hate Hero League. I hate solo queuing. I liked it when it was duo queue. Then I played it a lot and it was fun, but I never tilt when I played in coordinated, play with my team, like really rarely. But as soon as I'm in a solo queue environment, it's just like I tilt so fast, and then I play worse, and etc. etc. That means I'm not playing Hero League a lot, but once every like second season, I think maybe it's not that bad anymore. Maybe it's gotten better. Then I go in and then I start to play, and it's never better. It's still shit. But what I want to mention is that even the games that I win, it doesn't feel good because there's always some enormous monkey on the other team that just it plays so shit. It's just like you can just farm him and win the game off of that, and that is not fun.
Have you also been queuing into Epic Source? Good.
At times.
Oh wait.
Lame.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, it's does Rosmex, do you think this personalized MMR adjustment will it fix it?
I think it's gonna fix like the feeders that like running into the towers and dying, but it's not gonna fix the players that are like bad, not deserving their rank, but they are still here. I think it's gonna take a lot of time to like get them lower. I think it's a great change. At first, I didn't like it at all because it's something is similar in Overwatch, and there it's a lot of buggy. Where I think Mercy was bugged, where she got like a lot more points for winning games just because like her kid was like something bugged in the system. So I hope that's not gonna happen in HOTS, but I think it's a great change, but because like battle players are gonna climb faster, average players are gonna climb the same, I think, and then bad players and feeders that they're feeding like because they want that they are gonna drop.
Okay. A couple of things. First, Gilad, you need to answer me on Facebook, and second, what many people have talked about here is how this system can be gamed. Like you can, a lot of people have talked about how you can, okay, I'm going to play Illidan. That means I'm going to get bonus points for taking camps, for example. And then you just do that all game. And that is what people are afraid of, that you will chase heroic kills that you maybe wouldn't have chased before because you know you're going to get extra points for both the hero damage and the kill if you get it. But is that something that we really need to worry about? Just really quick, I've seen both sides. I've seen those that say this is how it's going to be gamed, just that's happen. And the other side is saying that you will still get more points from winning than losing. So you shouldn't do things that won't help you win, even how many individual points it give you. But does that make sense, or are people just gonna put up a spreadsheet playing this character? I need to do this?
I guess the key thing really is that Blizzard need to do a good job of designing the system so that it's not gameable in that sense. People that are intentionally doing things that are less likely to win them the game but are more likely to get them points won't be rewarded. So they need to design the system in such a way that it's not going to reward that behavior. They also need to do a really good job of educating the player base around how the system works, because I think one of the biggest risks is possibly like misinformation or misunderstandings being spread around, and people thinking that a certain approach or a certain strategy will allow them to game the system and gain more points than they would otherwise, which might or might not be true, obviously. If the system is well designed, it won't be true. But if people think it's true, it will encourage different approaches and different behaviors from players, which is not what you want.
Well, just saying this much, that Blizzard did state that they are still going to heavily be focused on the win-loss system, and the performance-based changes will affect, but it will still be mainly just a win-loss ratio.
Lauren in the chat says there that from what I've understood in various developer interviews, it's machine learning based, so it's not a fixed stat that determines whether you gain or lose points. It adjusts over time depending on what is successful over a large number of games. And they have been having this going for a while, is my understanding. They've been gathering information of what the different heroes do in the games that they win. So, and that's the statistic that they use to give us these points based on this the bonus MMR. But they have had this going for a while, and they haven't told us, and that is of course completely fine. There's nothing we can do about it. But I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be better to let this MMR, the personal MMR change, go live just without telling us? Would that be better?
I wouldn't go hero league at all. still.
Still won't go Hero
Yeah.
League. But for you, Rosmex, you're that's worth mentioning to those that don't know. To be a part of your national team in the Nexus Games, you had to climb the ladder and be very high in MMR to be able to pick that up. As a former GM number one, you Freddie had that locked in, but you do grind in Hero League, probably the most of all of us that are here today. And how about you? Do you like the fact that your teammates know they are going to get judged on some certain characteristics, or would you have liked Blizzard to just say nothing and just implement it and just let it play out?
I think I like it when people will know it on the highest rank in the Grandmaster games and High Master, because I think they're gonna like understand what to do. They are gonna just play to win and try their best. I don't think they're gonna like try to make their stats be better individually instead of playing to win. But I think in Diamond and below, it's gonna be worse because people are gonna try to play on just about a game about them, not about the team. And I think there's gonna be some games in first month of this that are gonna be really bad, and people are gonna hate this system because some people are gonna try to abuse this in wrong way. And yeah, that's my view.
Yeah, I would say that makes sense, that the lower you get in rank, the more is this system going to be misused in a way. As you mentioned, better players know that they just have to win the game. They need to do things that make sure that happens. But in lower ranks, it could be a chase for the wrong type of statistics. Denkeraffe says in the chatter that he would love to have an Illidan on my team that only do camps instead of fighting over nothing, which I guess is the normal Illidan thing to do.
Average Hero League Illidan is dead 50% of the time as well, worth mentioning. And unless he feeds to camps, which I have seen happening, actually. So should be an upgrade still.
Yeah, hard camp, rip. Never forget Ciabatta.
I've never seen Rosmex dying to a Black Hot Bay boss, for example, an Illidan.
I didn't die.
You didn't die, you just fell really, really low. Your health just...
I just got stunned and rooted 2 times in the same game.
Yeah, we'll never see. It can even happen on GM level. We are going to move on to the last topic where we have lined up for today, which is also something coming out of BlizzCon. We mentioned it earlier. Voice comms are finally coming to the game. Mm-hmm. It's something a lot of people have been asking for a very long time, and now it's finally here. So, yeah, what are our immediate thoughts about voice comms?
I'm pretty excited. I think if anything is going to encourage me to play more Hero League, this is probably it. My issue with Hero League is the lack of feeling like I can coordinate with and for my team, and that puts me off. I end up not playing it because I get frustrated with the games and everything's all over the place. And yeah, being able to jump on comms with my team is something I think might be very beneficial.
Ravitar?
If I have the emotional strength and the nerve to grind myself to Master or Grandmaster, I think I will start using voice comms a lot, but I don't think the voice comms are relevant if you are below Diamond, because people actually, something that I've heard a lot of people from Overwatch, for example, say that below Diamond, the voice chat is just a new way of flaming, because people take 5 seconds to react to any calls and stuff like that, and then it's just flame. But on a higher level place where people actually slightly coordinate, it's going to be a nice welcome change.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about that flaming part. I wanted kind of to get back to it, but wouldn't it make sense that in the lower your rank is, the more value you will actually get from voice comms, because people are like let's just say the lower you get in rank, the less and less people are actually listening to the Slotcast, which we all know is how you get good at the game. Wouldn't you get more value out of voice comms if you are a player that doesn't know that much macro?
Well, you also have to be a player who can listen to the macro, which is like I've been playing lately with some lower ranked players in Team League, for example, that I on my Smurf account and my now numerous Smurf accounts, that actually the greatest difference is that they don't react to calls really quickly. Like when I say back off, they want to just wait that 4 more seconds to see if they can hit the next hook, and then they hit it and die to it because everyone has backed already, or something like that. So, and the calls, I think voice comms and calls actually become detrimental if there's 1 or 2 players who are not in the call, because if you say for engage and there's 1 or 2 players who haven't joined the voice channel and don't hear the call, you'll go feed with your team. So you kind of need everyone on board with it.
Yeah. Rosbex, in your level of play, how do you think voice comms will affect it?
I think in my level of play, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be less Clown Fiesta, but still Clown Fiesta, I think. And like as the author said, you need to like have all the players on the voice comms, and with the feature that you can turn off it, you don't need to like be a part of it. That's the bad thing on it, I think, because then someone can ignore the call and you don't know it. I don't know how it looks, but if you don't know who is not in the call and who is within, then it's not great. I don't know. I think it's gonna help like the 3 and 2 queues in Team League, because you can just start communicating between the 2 primates without using like the Discord, which no one uses. If they like queue into they queue as 3, they never like invite someone to the Discord, the queue to communicate. So that's gonna help in Team League, I think, but not that much in Hero League.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. And the thing I'm sitting here thinking is it's so weird, because I've been wanting voice comms in this game for such a long time. And as Rosmic mentioned, people can at times spend a lot of time to react to calls, and then the engage gets clowned because people didn't react fast enough. And I've also always thought that it's easier for me to talk and say something and call out things than writing it or pinging it. So I'm always been so positive for voice comms. Finally, everything is going to be fine. But now that it's like on the steps here, I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it. Like, after all, it's good. It's good that it's there. But I don't know. Usually I play Team League in 5-man, and we're already in Discord. And for the Hero League thing, I'm, as Rosmic mentioned, I'm afraid that people won't actually use it, so it's only going to be me and one other guy, and that's not going to be helpful for anyone. But like Ravitar mentioned, the thing that I'm most nervous about is to get into a game, press the voice comm button to get on voice comms, and then just say and techno music, and I don't know, it's just going to be like filled with rage, filled with swearing, filled with Russian language and like terrible music. I don't know, it's just like what I'm afraid of, and then it's not going to help anyone. Is it just like a tool for flaming?
The good part about that, you can actually leave the voice call if that happens, but in lower ranks, probably something again I've heard from Overwatch, that usually people join voice comm, say hello, are quiet for 20 minutes straight after that. Until someone dies, and then start flaming.
Yeah, but I could almost be okay with that if there's someone in the voice call that doesn't say anything but listens to call. I would be happy with that. But of course, it all depends on how salty they get when someone dies.
Yeah, well, it will be a new tool for me, at least, to flame people who take convection into Mother Spider Queen. Feels Chatnik, man. But...
Oh no! You gotta go convection and use the trait on your Q all the time, so you have a bigger chance of hitting them. Gotta get those stacks.
You can do the better way, and to confirm the hit on all the minions, you can use your trait and then gravity lapse the minion wave, and then use the Q under it to hit all of them once they're stacked.
You need to make sure that those minions are standing still or stunned out so you can hit them
This
with
is
your
really
flame.
good.
Yeah, this is real news, guys. You're learning all the important Kael'thas stuff here on the Slotcast. So I think we're pretty much on the fence so far with voice. No one is complaining that it's going to be there, but how it's actually going to get used, that's still up for discussion. I'm just, I don't know. We like to think about ourselves as a community that's not so toxic as other communities like League of Legends, Overwatch to a certain degree. And I'm just excited to see how it plays out with voice comms, because there's a lot of I just see so many weird things in solo queue, and if those people get a voice to talk up, I'm afraid of what they will say to me. Any more thoughts on voice comms? No more talk about voice comms. We got 5 minutes left, and I'm going to use those 5 minutes. Okay, roster apocalypse, guys. We all follow the esport for Heroes of the Storm. We think it's great stuff, and now we're between seasons. And between seasons, people can swap rosters, and that creates some of the most interesting times of the year when we have the roster apocalypse and everyone is switching up teams. We don't have enough time to go through everything, but Fnatic and Dignitas has really switched things around. They have not completely new teams, but they are, to a certain degree, their composition is new. Things have to be thrown around. Maybe the biggest upset, we can call it, is that Fnatic no longer is an all Swedish team, as both Vubby and Schwimpy has left the lineup.
Yeah, they've recruited a baguette.
Yeah, they got some French into their team now. So yeah, with Mene from Team Dignitas, renowned mage player, now having a spot in Fnatic, together with Bad Benny that came from Expert. Just really quick, I'm not sure what's going on there. Like, for the first thing, to me, it instantly feels weird to not longer talk only Swedish, but they are used to talking English, so that's fine. But do you think it's weird that everyone is Swedish except for Mene?
I think that's only weird if they choose to let it be weird or make it weird. Like that,
Yeah.
there's no reason that you can't have 4 members of one nationality and one of another on a team. I'm pretty confident that those guys all know each other really well already, right? Having been competitors and having swapped around teams in the past and all that sort of stuff. I think they will have known that this group of personalities will work out before they made these choices. So I'm excited to see what both the new Fnatic and the new Dig roster can put up in the first season or the first half of 2018.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. But as you mentioned, they know that this is going to work out. That's why they do it. Mene has played on Fnatic before, and I think he's even said that leaving Fnatic was one of his biggest mistakes. And Bad Benny, he's a bit newer to the scene, but he's still done really, really well on Team Expert over the last year. But Breeze is the tank player. Bad Benny was the tank player for Expert. It seems Bad Benny is going to now cover Vubby's role as the melee flex and the offlaner. Ravatar, is that a downgrade from Vubby? And if yes, why do they do it?
I think most of the reasons behind the roster changes is mainly internal issues, I think. So if Vubby's personality just didn't fit the rest of the Fnatic, and to be fair, sometimes it did feel like he was kind of an outsider there. It can be an upgrade if Bad Benny has good communication and good relations with the rest of the team, but I think mechanics-wise, Vubby is still superior to Bad Benny, especially on solo lane, because Bad Benny is good at pressing buttons, but he's been playing tank this all year. You can just instantly become the best, also the best off later or something.
Yes.
Do you do you think that having a really super strong solo laner is becoming less important in the meta as it stands right now? It feels that way to me.
Ooh.
When this is actually now a thing, but next patch the turret changes and the minion changes are coming, and we don't have time to talk about all that, but then minions have more health and turrets don't have ammo, so rotations are way more harder to commit, which means the lanes will be more static and there will be less rotations, which means, damn it, camera. There will be more solo lanes included. Like in Dragonshire, I'm expecting 1-1-3s, and thus solo lanes will be more important than ever.
Sure.
For this couple of weeks, they're still very relevant on a couple of maps like Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout, and you need to have a solo laner in your team just in case those maps happen.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, Vobik came from the Team Dignitas last year and joined Fnatic, and he's going back to Team Dignitas now. I don't know, maybe, yeah, like you mentioned, he just goes really well with Snitch and JPL. He is like at the kind of the same type as JPL, like he isn't too loud, too out there, doesn't like attention that much. So yeah, it would make sense. And he is a great player. So I'm not sure if he wanted to go or if he was like asked to. I don't know. It's almost weird to speculate because why would you ask Wobby to leave?
I think Smexy yesterday on Steam said that will be left alone, the Fnatic roster, and I think will be wanted to go to Dignitas. I think because like I think Dignitas won the roster like on paper, like they have super good players on every role. Like they have Zarya on support now that is like switching from midi, but I think Zarya is like good enough to get to it in short period of time. So I think Dignitas is gonna look strong, and will be made good decision if it was his decision to go to Dignitas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it. We also like have to like just look at the Dignitas roster now. They are keeping JPL and Snitch on their normal roles, as Rosmix mentioned. Celia is going to support, which should be fine. His mechanics are really good, and yeah, that should be fine. They got Wobby back, as we talked about him. He's amazing, and Poilk is coming out to round out the roster. Poilk has been around for a while. He played for Zealots in the last season of HGC, and he's been impressing a lot of people. And now he really takes the step ups and joined Dignitas. But we need to round up it quickly. Around on who has the strongest roster going into 2018, Fnatic or Dignitas? BS?
I think Dig, actually. I really like what Dig have done with their roster. I'm excited. I'm sad Many's left, and I'm very sad Bakery's left, but I am excited to see what this roster can do.
Oh, we didn't talk about Bakery either. Okay, next time. Rabbitr, Fnatic, Dignitas?
I think Fnatic slightly. I have faith in Zalia's support, but I don't think you can ever really replace Bakery. The man was a genius playing
Rip
supports.
Feels bad, man.
And then Rosmex, of course, you are the one that has the most chance of actually playing against any of these guys. Which roster do you think looks the strongest, Fnatic or Dignitas?
Dignitas. I think Dignitas, like 100%. I really don't like Mana in Fnatic because like Vaknix hasn't that big hero pool. Same for Mana, and I think it's gonna hurt Fnatic in first weeks at least if they don't get better the hero pool, and also they have Bad Bunny that recently got from tank to midi flex. So I think like in the first weeks, Fnatic's gonna be struggling a lot, I think, and Dignitas is gonna be just better.
Yeah, this is something that we do in football all the time. Like we look at either the defense or the attack and etc. And for the ranged flex part of the roster, Dignitas looks much better with Poilk and Snitch versus Mene and Quacknix. And I love all these players. I love Mene's mages and stuff like that. But it is hard to get around the fact that he doesn't seem to shine on many other heroes than his comfort picks. yeah, it's just going to be exciting to see how all that works out. And there's still plenty of changes left to be done. There are good players out there without the team. BKB, Kronos, NTRO, Raid Boss, everyone from the good guys that are now relegated. And Expert isn't locked down yet. Zealots, we actually don't know. Diamond Skin either. So yeah, we're still looking for confirmation for the finalized rosters, and they should come in the next couple of weeks. Or the next week, I guess.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long at all. The acquisition window closes on the 21st. So,
it's only 2 more days.
Well, that's the acquisition window. I don't know how soon after that things get made public, but I believe everything has to be locked down by Tuesday this week. Yeah.
Okay, and just really quick, there are so many good players that haven't picked up a team yet, like Blumby, Grandpa Kette, Darkmock, Chris, Shrimpy, Shad to a certain degree, Arcaner that moved here all the way from New Zealand or Australia. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how that works out. Super quick before we give up. Courtesy of Maniac Coke from Cavs Discord, Roll20 is going to be the best team in the world this season, together with MVP Black, or what they call that, KSV. But
this is fake news.
This is obviously fake news, but he is entitled to his opinion. Roll20 and Team Freedom. No, not different. Tempo Storm has kind of created super teams, NA super teams. Now, Tempo Storm has booted out Cotton Luck and
Fury.
And Fury, yeah, and gotten Fan and Glowering in. While Roll20 Esport has gotten Daneski and Cure in. Cure, which has impressed many people. But do we expect big things from NA happening now with the super teams?
I'm really hyped for the new lineup from Tempo Storm. Jun is a fantastic support, and I'm really excited to see what Fan and Glaurung are able to put together in the same team. So I think we can maybe expect some big things from them.
I'm still expecting NA Lula.
Nothing actually changes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Tempo Storm booted Fury and did not recruit another tank player.
That's actually a good point. So Caterpillar is going to play tank now?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how that works out, because Caterpillar will be tank, Jun will be support, okay? And then Glowering, Fan, and Psalm all like to play the cool heroes, and I'm just not sure how they will, who will play what in that lineup. I'm really interested to see. But we are over the time. So let's just go on to that was what we managed to cram into an episode this week. Again, I just want to say sorry that we're not doing this every week like we used to, but we're doing all that we can. We will be back, of course, as soon as we can. But remember that you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and all that good stuff under Slotcast Hots. For every new follower we get, we will donate money to a children's shelter. I promise. But let's just do the rounds. Beas, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Absolute pleasure as always. Always great fun to sit and chat with you guys about some HOTS and get to see some good insights. So, yeah, thank you very much for the invite.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. You have something lined up for tonight, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm actually not. I'm not casting this evening. We have got some Heroes Lounge casts going on, but it is going to be Haft and Heartless carrying that one for this evening. But definitely tune into the stream and check them out, and you'll certainly be able to see me doing some more casting over the next few days as well.
Yeah, the same with me. I think I'm going to do a couple of games tomorrow, actually. So that's going to be good fun. Ravitar, I'm very happy that the harsh winter still allows you to be in contact with the outside world. Do you have any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to Hoth and stuff like that. Damn it, Nasha.
Okay. Shout outs to King Winter, I guess. are you? When is your next launch game?
Rosnex.
We don't really know because the Nexus games are happening and I can't play this week. So
So we are having a Vice Captain Mango, which is really impressive. And
Yeah, I'm looking forward
yeah.
to seeing Mango pulling the strings now that Rosmex is busy on international duty, as we call it in in football. I'm just going just going through the chat, but of course. Rosmex, tonight is the night. Good luck versus the Dutch guys. I hope that you guys win so we can see more of you in the tournaments. You are excited for that game, I guess.
yeah, thanks a lot. And we're gonna play today around 6 p.m. After game Poland versus Spain. And if Poland wins 2-0, we have chance to get tiebreakers between us, Spain and Netherlands. If we win 2-0 today. So I hope you are going to tune in and cheer for us.
Yeah, we will definitely do that. Hopefully, all you guys in chat also tune in to the Nexus games later tonight to cheer on Team Czech and the Slotcast very on Rosmex. As usual, you can find me at @the_Narsha on Twitter and all the other places on the internet. But that was pretty much all we had today. So we'll see you again the next episode. Until then, feel free to join our Discord and hope you all win some games. And good luck and have feeds.